And welcome back to Subculture After Dark. Well, there is an album out right now that we want you to learn all about. This is from a band that have been around now for 21 years. This is their fourth studio album. The band I'm talking about is Blynd, and of course, the album I'm talking about is their brand new album called Unbeliever. And to find out a little bit more about Unbeliever, we actually have George from the band on the phone right now. Welcome to the program, mate.
Hi guys. What's going on?
Well, mate,
What's going on in Australia?
mate, we are so excited about your brand new album. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about this album. What can your fans expect to hear on Unbeliever?
Right. Okay. So, like you said, we were Blynd. We like the genre we play is a kind of a mixed situation. We are a bit of a mellow death slash thrashy slash darkish kind of band. We do things our own way. We like to experiment with our dynamics. So you won't find a song that is exactly the same as the others. We like to, just experiment with trying to broaden our identities, like each and every step of the way. What you expect? Hopefully to entertain yourselves.
Yeah. That was one of the things I loved about this album, and I went back and listened to your past albums as well, and that's something that's always happened, is every track does sound different. I was wondering, is that because of your songwriting process? Like, how does that songwriting process work for you guys?
Okay, so we don't have a formula in place. Like, there's no one thing that we do constantly. It could be many things. Like, we try many things and we just see what sounds good for us. Like, usually one person would start off with a main idea, maybe sometimes like a whole song, but every time it goes through the filters of each and every single person. So most times than not, it will get rejected or completely changed. As a band, like, we are all involved, one way or another. We produce our own stuff as well. But yeah, there's not one formula in place. It's whatever works, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said before that you guys like to experiment when you're working on new music and you like to push yourselves. Tell us a little bit about that. What kind of things did you guys experiment with this time around on this album?
Okay, we experimented with a slower pace in some songs. Where, like, for example, Infernal, it's a kind of song that we had never done before, and we were kind of actually a bit anxious about it, like about its reception.
Yep.
But so far so good, man. We're even doing it into a video clip. Like songs like 1984 are a breakaway from what we were traditionally doing. It's more of a deathcore-ish type of vibe. Yeah, well, we like to keep things interesting. Like, going the monotonous route, usually it's just boring for us.
Yeah.
We get this question a lot, whether it's challenging to try to broaden the identity of what we're doing throughout a single album. And well, my reply is always that it would have been more challenging if we were trying to do something more focused, actually, because we would have to be repeating ourselves. It's something we dread doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we like to keep things interesting for us, for our composition process, but as well as, when we're playing live. So yeah, that's pretty much all about it.
Yeah, that change of sound that you just mentioned there, was that something that you guys talked about before you started working on the album, or did that just kind of happen naturally with the songs that you were writing?
Good question. It's kind of both. I mean, we had a change in the lineup like some years ago, so we had to sit down and just rethink our brand of music. We decided to go for something more organic. I mean, if you listen to our two previous albums, there were big scores in there, like strings, keys, violins, and stuff. We toned that down. It was quite conscious decision to do that. We wanted like a more in-your-face, organic, good old heavy metal, without disparaging our two previous records. We just wanted to go like more fundamentals this time.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a quite conscious decision.
Yeah, so there's been 9 years between albums. So tell us a little bit about the recording and writing of this album. How long did it actually take to put this album together? Are these tracks that you've been working on over those 9 years, or are they tracks that you've basically written over the last couple of years?
Right. No, I mean, pretty much like 90% of the album was ready as early as 2020, actually. Yep. However, both external and internal circumstances, mostly the pandemic, delayed everything. But we also had a few other mishaps during the production process. We had to actually redo the mixing all over again. We had done it in some places. We weren't happy about it. So we had to redo it again. Like I said, we had lineup changes. Like most of the songs were ready like before 2020. The pre-production process was ready by 2020. But then, the pandemic hit, and it kind of pushed all of our plans further forward and kept pushing it further forward.
Yeah.
It was an unfortunate situation, but here we are.
How do you bounce back from things like that? Like you said, there was some internal and external forces at work there, but as a musician, how do you get over those forces and still bring out an album that's as great as this album? Like, do you have a way that you overcome things like that, or do you just do it as a band, like as a band of brothers?
That's it. You nailed it. We always kept close. We were a close-knit bunch. We never stopped believing in ourselves. We never stopped working.
Yep.
So we were quite conscious. I mean, by the 6th, 7th year that this is being delayed. So our only fallback kind of strategy in approaching it was just put out a kick-ass album. That's why we completely discarded our first mix. It wasn't terrible, but exactly because it was 9 years, we wanted to just put out something that was worth listening to. I mean, that's the only way to overcome that gap. Just put out some quality work. Hopefully, we did that. But yeah, that was the idea. That was the intention. Like make up for it with some good quality stuff.
Definitely. Lyrically, this is a pretty heavy album. You explore things such as war, propaganda, the suppression of free speech, surveillance, and things like that. Tell us a little bit about the themes explored on this album and what it was that you guys wanted to explore with those themes.
Right. The intention is not so much to convey a message through our songs, even though the way music is consumed is unique to each individual. But the purpose is to creatively express ourselves through our music. Yeah. As mundane as that sounds, or cliche, well, that's the reality. It's just an artistic expression. We're not virtue signaling or anything. Now, as for what inspired that? Well, there was not one single source of inspiration. There were a few actually, ranging from the impact of words, like you said, even Leonard Cohen, literature, mental struggle. But we're a group of people who are actively participating at every level of the creative process. Each one brings different ideas and experiences to the table.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah.
So the album is out now, and of course people can take a listen to it. What now have you got planned as a band? Are you hoping to get out there and do some shows? Are you hoping to travel a little bit? What are the plans going forward now for the band?
Yeah, all of the above. We have already planned a few shows here on the island. We're in talks with various other agents and bands across Europe for maybe some brief shows abroad. We're also in the process of doing a video clip for Infernal, like I have already mentioned. I have this for now.
Yeah.
but soon enough we'll start the composition process again, and it will be way less than 9 years for the next album. For that I can
Definitely. Well,
for sure.
is there any chance you guys might come to Australia at some stage? Because I know a lot of people out there are going to fall in love with this album. Is that something that you would think about in the future?
It's definitely something we can think about. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, mate, we're going to play a track. We're going to play a track from the album on our show right now. So to finish off the interview, what would you like to say to people out there before they go out and take a listen to Unbeliever in its full glory? What would you like to say to them?
Right, man. What would I like to say? Well, just listen to it loud. It's supposed to be played loud. It's intended to be played in full from song 1 to song 9. The song order there is intentional for its flow. Well, hopefully you dig what we do. And just enjoy it, man.